my name is David Smith. I would like to start this speech by bringing up a personal anecdote. Recently at Pertalis High School, someone ended their life on campus. This brought me into my persuasive speech topic, which is teen mental health and suicide prevention. It's a very serious topic and one that needs to be discussed and addressed. Today, most teens feel disconnected from all people due to many factors, but one of the biggest ones is the changing world we live in. With social media, most teens don't have the greatest mental health practices, and this leads to disconnection, and it leads to 17% of teens feeling sad and or depressed, according to the National Mental Health Institute. This is a very serious epidemic that is sweeping the nation and the entire world. And it's something that needs to be addressed, because if 17% of the world disappeared today, if 17% of the world just stopped existing, 17% of the world of people you know didn't exist anymore or couldn't interact with you anymore, that wouldn't be okay. That's not something that can be okay. According to the U.S. Mayo Clinic, teen depression is on the rise due to social media usage widespreadly. Social media can help us feel connected. It can be a very positive thing, but it also can be very negative. It can bring out the worst in humanity. We must accept social media because it's not going anywhere. There's no need to, social media needs to go, there's no need to be anti-social media. It can be great, but I really think the adverse side effects of social media need to be addressed, and they need to be cared for. We need to deal with it in a modern sense, and I think the biggest thing about this is that teens don't have education. They don't have access to any resources widely available. You have to look for resources if you need them. And looking for resources isn't easy, let me tell you. It can be hard to find resources on your own. It can be hard to ask for help. And that really brings me to my next topic, which is, what happens when you don't get that help. According to UCLA, 9% of teens have attempted or have committed suicide. Education will never not be a part of dealing with this mental health crisis. And I really think that in the modern world, we need to educate our teens on effective ways, not even just ways like, when someone comes to your school and is like, oh, here's how you can feel better about yourself. Here's how not to deal with it. I don't think that's an effective way. I don't think one presentation is going to change the lives of an entire school system, an entire nation. I think that we need to be better about educating teens on effective mental health practices in which where we can learn how to deal with the changing world. We can learn how to deal with our own emotions changing with our hormones and just our developing brains. This brings me to my proposal. My proposal is a required credit for graduation taught by a mental health professional in all American high schools. I really do believe that a required class will help America. I believe that many teens today will grow up to be people without the resources to deal with their interpersonal life and the world. I believe that many people aren't ready for the changing world, and it's going to be really hard on them, and it's going to be really hard for you to adapt to. According to the Yale Center of Medicine, 40% say medicine doesn't help. We need to make up for this. We need to close the gap, to say. We need to make up for this fact, because 40% of people saying modern medicine does not help them with their symptoms of anxiety and or depression is not acceptable. That's 40% of people who are left alone without therapy or other expensive things. That's 40% of people who need help, who maybe don't have the best practices on their own mental health. It's 40% of people who could use a class like this, who could use the education in how to properly deal with their emotions and their life. My proposal would have included education on drugs and alcohol. 22% of teens have said that drugs and or alcohol, specifically alcohol, have been involved in their life in the past 20 days. 17% have said that marijuana was involved in the past 20 days. Marijuana and alcohol have very adverse effects on teen mental health. They can make you feel very depressed. They can up your levels of anxiety. They can be addictive. It can ruin your social life. And I don't think it needs to be a discussion of like, oh, drugs are bad, don't do drugs. And they do all these terrible things to you. I think it needs to be a discussion of why do you use them? Why shouldn't you use them? What's something else you can use to cope with the pain you feel? Not only does this, I really do think that it doesn't only affect their life, it affects their mental health. It affects who they are as a person. And really, I think we need to talk about it. And to talk about it would be to bring me to the end of this. 86% of people say that mental health and therapy education have helped them majorly. And I think that's really all you need to know. It'll never hurt to have the education on your topic.